Hi Flosstube friends! Happy March! It is Tuesday, March 1st right now in the evening, and I am ready to come back and show y'all what I've been working on. So, okay, first things first. I'm a registered nurse now. I didn't get as much stitching as I planned to get done this month because I was studying for my licensure exam, but I passed. So I intend to get a lot of stitching done this month. I don't start my nursing job until the 30th, so it's on. It's time to stitch. And it's also my birthday month. Yes, I'm turning the big 2-8 on March 26th. So yes, I love my birthday. I'm excited. And secretly I'm giddy that I don't have to work on my birthday. Whatever. So anyway, let's see. First things first I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes. I'll bring them up higher. I'm on the floor in front of my fireplace, obviously. I thought I'd try a different setup, so maybe the angle will be a little bit better so that I can show my stitching better. So, I didn't finish anything, but I fully finished something. Right here. This is my Merry Christmas, My Dear piece that I finished, gosh, over the summer, I believe. Yeah, I did. Maybe in the fall. Okay, regardless. I finished the stitching a while ago and I just kind of let it sit. I just didn't feel like looking for a frame, and I just found a standard size frame. And my mom, who used to work in a framing shop in the 1990s, helped me stretch it over a piece of foam core board. I always want to say foam cork board, but that doesn't make sense. Yes, so we bought a piece of foam core board that was cut to the size that my mom asked the person at the store to cut it to. And then we found a frame with I'm showing you nothing, a thick enough back or side that we could fit the stitching plus the foam core board in there. And my mom helped me stretch it like the really professional way with a bunch of pins. And then, no, I didn't lace this one, but there was enough room in the back that I just kind of like mashed the fabric in there. But I found this really pretty rustic frame, and this just happened to be a standard size. I think it's 11 by 14. Is that a standard frame size? No, it's 8 by 10. It's 8 by 10. 11 by 14 is absolutely enormous. Yeah, I really like this, and I've had it out this month, despite the fact that it has been February, but you know what? Merry Christmas to everyone, and to all a good night. This is gonna stay out a little bit longer, because I'm proud of it. And, wow, whoa, I'm just excited to be back. Speaking of things I'm really excited about and proud of and that are done and that my mom is helping me frame, I have stretched, well, my mom has stretched my Templar Prophecy. It's enormous. I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to put it back here. And then I guess get out of the way, huh? But so as you can see, this is huge. I think it's about 22 inches square, but it's not perfectly square. So, there's a custom framing job for you. I had heard all of you lovely people talking about how expensive framing is, so I walked in there with an idea of what I thought really expensive custom framing would be, and then I saw the total at the register and I was like, oh my goodness. But, you know, they're ordering the frame pieces and they're gonna make a custom size frame for this, and they're gonna cut a big giant piece of glass. So, and I mean, it costs what it cost. And my mom and I saved money on it by stretching it again over that foam core board. I don't know if you can see all these little pins that my mom lined up perfectly, and then I pushed in. And I still need to just do some like basting, like loose stitches on the back, just so it isn't flopping all over the place, and so it's not something else for me to get charged for at the framing store. I almost just basically set this inside of my fireplace by accident. That would honestly be heartbreaking, especially I almost caught it on film. So I picked out I'm just gonna say it. This is what I've been saying to my husband to justify the cost. But this is a once in a lifetime piece, blah, blah, blah. But I told my husband, I'm about to swear, but it's worth it. I told my husband I found the most bitchin' frame, but guess what? They called me a few days later and those materials are out of stock. So I'm gonna have to find, I guess, an equally bitchin' frame for maybe I'll be able to find one that's less expensive. So hopefully next time I make a video, I'll be able to show you my framed Templar prophecy. That'll be exciting. Okay, so that's my finishes, fully finishes, they count. Next up, I will show you the two things that I've started since I saw you last, which was at the end of January. So the first one, I don't know if I started it maybe the next day or so after I filmed my video, whatever. It was basically, I think it was like January 30th, but it was my January new start that I gave myself. And it's a Dimensions gold collection kit called Dragonfly Pond. It's on 14 count navy aida with full crosses and half crosses. And gosh, this is just a really interesting image for a gold collection, I think. And I'm really ramping up to show you not very much progress. Oh my gosh, I was looking all around for my notebook, but it's literally on my lap. Oh my gosh, I don't even know which way is up. This way's up. Yeah, this way's up for sure. For sure. Okay, it's the return of the handy dandy whiteboard, and I brought some chip clips. So here's what I've got. I don't know why I started with the white. I guess I wanted to start with the flowers. But so I was working away on the white, just a little bit. Let's see, I have done 453 stitches on this total. 377 of which were in the month of February, if you are just a real statistics head like I am. Real numbers head. So then I told myself, you really need to start in on all this gold metallic that's gonna be a nightmare to work on. I just know it. My gosh, I just got a little like lip gloss on my finger. I don't want that to get on any of my projects, but gosh, I'm just really excited. To be fully transparent, I just got off the phone and just like confirmed my start date and my pay rate and everything for the job I'm gonna start at the end of March. And once I got that situated, I literally was like, gosh dang it, it's time to make a Flosstube while I'm in a good mood, So I hope I'm not being distracting by just being like a bundle of nervous energy, but also excited. Okay, so anyway, so I made myself work, I think I've done like 2 lengths of the metallic, and it's fine, it's slow going, it's honest work, y'all. But it's gonna be really pretty. Oh, it's so pretty. It outlines pretty much everything in here, like, kind of like a mosaic. It's really pretty. So, yeah, I didn't do much on that, but gosh darn it, I was excited to start it. Okay, let me get all my piles going here. Next up is another new start. This is one that you all voted on, and wow, clocking in at 8 votes. Winter Retreat won. So here's this one. It is another gold collection, and it is 16 by 12. I did not realize how big that is. Oh my word, it is enormous. And this is the one that I bought from somebody on eBay, and she had stitched little like crosses to grid this thing. I pulled all that out because, and I'm glad I did, because just about every single one of those intersections of the cross, she had split the like one strand of floss, so it would have been absolutely impossible to just go through and pull it all out if I ever finished this. But before I removed all of that, I traced painstakingly across all the lines. I won't even call it tracing. No, I didn't trace. I used what she had done as guidelines, but I freaking gridded this mother. Okay, it is huge. It is huge. And she did all the counting, and I just said, you know what, sister, I'm gonna trust your counting. So I checked that one square was correct, and then I just went ahead and trusted her counting. I trust her. So I have done, excuse me while I look down at my notes, 880 half stitches. But I mentioned in my last couple videos that I was toying around. I'm not gonna divide my total of half stitches by 2 in my records. I know I do a lot of half stitches. I'm just gonna give myself a win here and say, yeah, I totally did 880 stitches, because I did. They were just not full stitches, but this is really pretty, and it just, to be honest, this is just so rustic, and I love stitching cutesy stuff. I love stitching pretty stuff, but I just really wanted something, I don't know, this looks like it would be in somebody's like den or something, and just be like kind of timeless, and it's kind of masculine, and I just think it's really calm. And these colors are like pretty dulled down. I just thought that would be nice to work on. I always work on stuff that's either super dark or super bright, so I just thought this would be a nice change of pace. Of course, once again, I've started with a bunch of tans. This is one color and then 2 different blended colors, but they all look the same, but you know, whatever. I trust Dimensions Gold. It's gonna come out looking amazing, and it's gonna be totally worth these silly blends. Whatever. Okay, there's my new starts. On to the whips. The works in progress. That is what a whip is, if you did not know. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm looking down a lot. Woodland Enchantress is my first work in progress. It's another Dimensions Gold kit. Okay, this is on 16 count gray Aida. And it's really nice to work on, honestly. I don't know, like kit Aida is pretty stiff, but that works well for me because I stitch in hand. And as you can see, I roll it up, so it has memory to it. So for me, that's good. It makes it easier to hold because I don't like hoops. Me and hoops don't get along. So I did, as I said, 660 stitches in the month of February, but after my last video at the end of January, I did a few more stitches. So in total, I've done 1,956 stitches since you saw it last. Oh, I have an image of where it was last time. I am kind of out of sorts, y'all, but hopefully it's providing entertainment value. Here's where it was last time. You know, I'm just working away at that corner because I think that is the least interesting part of this image. So that's a good place to start. So I got into some really pretty purples and blues, and I'm just kind of roughly trying to work right to left, top to bottom-ish. There are some gaps. They will get filled in eventually, whatever. I get bogged down when I try to make my stitching too methodical, so I'm just trying to go where the wind blows me, and I've been enjoying stitching that way, so. And I started out gridding this one, so you may see like blue lines at the top and down the side, but then I was like, I'm not gridding this. But then I had time to grid that whole goose one, so I don't know. I grid when I feel like it. And that is that on that. So, should I just say goals? I'm just gonna say, no, I'll say goals later. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm gonna say goals later. Okay. I'm just like fiddling around with my whiteboard now. Okay. Next up is I randomly pulled out Pumpkin Quaker, which is super cute. It is by Hello from Liz Matthews. Really cute. This is my only Quaker. It's just really cute. I love autumn so much. I love Halloween. Originally, I was supposed to get married on Halloween of 2020, but we all know everybody's plans changed. So, I had a little teensy weensy wedding at my parents' house instead, and it was beautiful, and I would choose that over anything, honestly. I think small weddings are going to be so trendy in the next few years. Like, even if somehow COVID restrictions are lifted and we're allowed to have large gatherings again, I think small weddings are going to be so trendy just because of we've all seen how they can be nice. Okay, I don't have a before picture of this one. It's been probably a year since I've touched this. This is enormous because it is on 18 count opalescent aida. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, I'm clipping it on the whiteboard, but the stuff I stitch on is completely off the whiteboard. Okay, well, I've got the whole bottom border. Should I even bother to use the whiteboard? I've got the whole bottom border. I've got both sides. So I decided to, I think I had like this here to here of the top done. So I just started stitching across, and because I wanted to start working this way over, but I just cannot trust myself that they are both counted correctly. So I'll just work the way I already had started over there. And astute viewers will notice that I have swapped out, this border is supposed to be in this black color, but I switched it out for a DMC variegated floss. It's really like autumn, and I think it's super cute. Yeah. Full disclosure, this, I am doing it other than this substitution in the called for Weeks Dye Works, which I'm not going to be purchasing anymore. I'm going to use these up, and then, no, I'll substitute where I need to. So yeah, there's that. I don't have plans to work on this in the near future, but I believe it's on my Whip Go board, so I think I want to finish it this year. Anything could happen. Who knows? Maybe I'll find the willpower to do that. We can only hope. Okay, next up is another total rando, total out of left field whip. I've never even shown you this one because it's one that I started and I put a few hundred stitches into, and it's just, it doesn't look like anything yet, but it's beautiful. It's a Heaven and Earth design chart. It is called, it's Supersized Winter Wonderland by, I believe, Paul Straub, Straubb, I believe is his name, the original artist, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. It's beautiful and it's huge. It's one of those that's 999 stitches by like 536 or something. So don't even tell me how many stitches that is. I don't want to look. So, oh, low battery. That is just... It's Rascal hour, y'all. Did you really think that I charge my electronics? No. My husband is always like, I don't know anybody else who lets their phone die when they've been at home all day. I'm at home. Why do I need my phone? I'm doing other stuff. Same with my tablet here. Okay, here I did 202 half stitches on this. It's 32 count, 2 strands over 1 fabric thread, half stitch, because I honestly wanted to see if I could do it. And I can. I think it's going to be pretty thick. Here's the back. I mean, it's some thick coverage, but I just, you know, if it's a supersized, you know, with 999 stitches one way, 500 and some the other way, I mean, I might as well, in theory, cut my stitching time in half by doing half stitches. And you may notice, I started Supersized Max Color a stitching shelf up here. It's iconic enough that I honestly feel like some of y'all would recognize it. And oh, who's this at the bottom? I started Supersized Max Color a stitching shelf by Amy Stewart down here too. And then it was such thick coverage. I think I did 1/1 full cross. It was so thick I couldn't frog anything. And I didn't like my stitches because I just 1/1 on 32 count is too intense for me. So yeah, I mean, and am I ever in my lifetime gonna finish this and actually frame it? If I do, I will cross this bridge and this one when I come to it. But as you can see, there's like 1.5 inches or so in between the stitching and my old stitching, so maybe it won't be a problem. Okay, I'm like literally just like crumpling this up and throwing it out of the way. I'm just so like amped up. I'm just so happy that I passed my licensure exam and that I've got my job lined up. I've got a whole month where I can happily stitch. Unlike this month of February, I was frantically studying and I felt really guilty when I was stitching. So then I was like, oh, I should be doing practice questions. Even though self-care is productive and stitching is self-care, so I did get some stitching done this month. Okay, and then, yes, finally, Contessa with Squid. I got another page finish. Wait, how did I get a page finish if I only stitched 4,544 stitches? That is suspicious, but okay, whatever. Oh, I know. Okay, here's where it was last time. I'm so sorry, I didn't get a great picture of this, but it's just a screen grab from my last video, so what can you expect? Quality from this channel? Maybe come back in a year when I know what I'm doing. Anyway, you may be able to tell there are like, oh my gosh, this is like so poorly framed, but whatever. There are like random stitches throughout the whole page. So I guess I had like 3,500 rando stitches that I had already done in the page, and that's how I got a page finish. Okay, so here it is. Eee. Okay. Gosh, I'll use a whiteboard, but oh gosh. I'm getting there. I'm learning how to do this stuff so that you can see it. Okay, thank you, Chip Clips. Okay, here we go. So I finished this page, and it is my favorite page that I've done so far. It had all the colors of the rainbow in it. It had, like, I would say a good balance of black in it that I could just kind of zoom right through. I feel like that was a deceptive amount of black. I mean, it was definitely 1,000 stitches. So, gosh, that was like a quarter of my stitching on it this month, but okay. So I've got way more parked threads now. I feel like I finally get a way of parking that makes sense to me. I'm not like meticulously going through each row or anything. I feel like rather than having my perfect system of like square by square, I don't like sneak over and do stitches if they're nearby. No, I totally sneak over and do the stitches if they're nearby, even if they're like bleeding onto the next page and there's just like a little bit more, or if my thread's almost done, I'll just go ahead and do them. And then when I'm done, I'll just park that thread for later. I'm just freaking parking it. I will be back for y'all. So the next page I'm gonna work on is down here. So you will see there are some stitches already done in this page. So that'll be good, but not nearly as many as there were on this page. But yeah, so as you can see, I'm kind of doing diagonal pages here. Not stitching diagonally while I'm working on the page, just doing pages diagonally so I can sneak down to her face. Oh my gosh, I didn't even show you the image of the finished piece. So the piece is called Contessa with Squid. Oh my gosh, have I even been saying? Yeah, I've been saying the fabric counts. Woo. Okay, so Contessa with Squid, original art by Omar Ryan. This is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. There are 357,000 stitches total. I have now completed 12, is that right? Yeah, 12.08% of this piece. I can't believe it. I do have a little like mini page at the bottom that I finished too, but that's not very many stitches. Okay. Oh, right. And I snuck down and counted down to her face with one of these shadowy colors too. So that accounts for some of it. But anyway, okay, we're just gonna slide right into goals since I'm just so eager to talk about goals and jump around. So the next two Whip Go calls for me, WIPGO, Whip Go. It's a group on Facebook and Instagram run by Jessie Marie Does Stuff, and it's cross stitch bingo. She calls out 2 numbers every month. It's a ton of fun. So I've been keeping up with my goals because my first 2 months, both of my numbers were for half of a page finish on Contessa with Squid because I want to get 6 pages total done on her this year. So I did this page, and this month only 1 Contessa with Squid square was called. So I'm just gonna do half a page on her. I wonder if I'm gonna just do 4,000 stitches or if I'm gonna just try to actually get half of a solid page. Who knows? I don't even know. We'll see next month, huh? So if you are stitching this or anything with an octopus or squid, you can use the hashtag that I created on Instagram. So far, I'm the only person who's used it, but you're welcome to join in. It is hashtag Squid Squad X Stitch on Instagram, and I would love to see your progress. I think it would be so much fun. So yes, join my Squid Squad. Okay, so that's Whip Go. My other Whip Go goal for this month is to stitch one more Christmas jar ornament, which is a Dimensions kit. Is it Dimensions Gold? No, it's not Dimensions Gold, but it's still pretty tricky. There's French knots, there's half stitches, whole stitches, blends, back stitching, no cording or anything like that, but I mean, okay, that's still a lot. So I think I'm going to work on this red one next. And I think I'm going to give it to my mom when I'm done because she loves red. And yeah, it's super cute. It will say, "Have a happy holiday." And that's going to be super cute. So, I mean, to start off, I don't have anything done on that ornament because over the summer I finished this second ornament. And these are cute. They're super cute. They're, I don't know, you know, they're small, so I think I can get it done. So that's on my whip go board twice too. I want to get, this is a like lower pressure goal, so this will be good for this month. I've got each one of these on the board, 1 square, 1 square. So who knows? I might go really hard on this and finish both, but even as I'm saying that, that just doesn't sound like me. That doesn't sound like me sticking to a project longer than I assign myself to. Next, other goal is to, catch up on my winter Enchantress. So my big plan for these is to each season work on the Dimensions, like fairy lady that correlates with that season. So I have Fall Fairy started. I started Woodland Enchantress at the end of December on the winter solstice. And I want to get 1 page done because that will be 1/4 of the piece done. And if I work at that rate, I'll have all 4 of these ladies done in 4 years. But I mean, that's a pretty good rate. And then I can frame them all and switch them out seasonally. It'll be really pretty. I'm excited for that. I didn't work on her as much as I set out to this past month, and that's totally fine because I'm gonna have so much time this month to stitch. And so I'm gonna carry over the 2,300 stitches that I did not get done on her this month. And then to stitch a 1/4 page, I need to do 3,584 stitches on these seasonal ladies each month that is in their season in order to get a page finished per season. If you are following me on that, God bless you, because I could not have explained it in a more confusing way. But trust me, that's what it works out to if I want to get a page finish on each lady per season. So I already showed you her, but here you go. Here's her again for good measure. So, I guess I kind of did grid fairly well. Anyway, here is where the bottom right of the page is. So, I mean, gosh, am I gonna get this this page, I mean. I can do it. I can do it. Well, and mind you, I mean, almost all of those stitches that I was just saying in the stitch count are half stitches. So, I can do it. I can do it. And then the spring equinox is coming up. I believe it's March 20th. So that is during my birthday week. So I get to start Spring Fairy. And she's going to be so beautiful. She's got all this blending filament in her wings. So they look really translucent and magical. Gosh. Oh, okay. Okay, here's what you can vote on, my friend. Oh, this might be kind of difficult. No. Okay. I want you to vote on which page, so which quadrant I can start in. And just let me know by saying, I'm gonna point to like the wrong ones, and this is like mirrored, so I'm gonna get it wrong, but should I do top right? Is that the right? I'm like second guessing myself so hard because I'm so excited and on camera. Top right, left, top right, top left, bottom right, bottom left. Whichever quadrant gets most votes. Man, I'm really making myself sound like such a nerd. Well, the cat's out of the bag. I'm a nerd. Okay, vote on which quadrant I should start on. Yeah, because Yeah, I don't know. I've always been a top rate starter, but I don't have to be. There's no reason to do that. Especially if I grid it, it doesn't matter where I start. But don't say start in the middle. I said don't say start in the middle. That's too much for me. That's over the edge. If you say start in the middle, I'm gonna freak out. I'm gonna freak out if I have to start in the middle. But maybe that would be a challenge. Who knows? Okay, so that's another thing I'm gonna do. Gosh. Oh, and then, gosh, if I just don't have anything else to do, maybe I'll do some more work on my previous 2 month starts, that winter retreat with the geese that y'all voted on, or that dragonfly pond, because I started them, yeah, great, but I didn't get very far. I got like a few hundred stitches into them, and most of those were half stitches. So yeah, okay, one final thing. Let me just grab you by the throat real quick and make sure I'm still recording. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm still recording. Okay, there you go, back where you were sitting. Excuse me for grabbing you. Okay, I have a YouTube real life connection. Okay, so I was at my mom's house and we were like doing crafty stuff, and then my Aunt Julia called, and she lives in Virginia. That's where I grew up. That's where I'm from. And she's my mom's sister. Okay, blah, blah, blah. So she was showing us like some quilts she was working on, and I was showing her, we had framed this that day. So I was showing her my Merry Christmas, My Dear. Okay, and she was like, oh, it's so interesting that you do cross stitch. Like, she's like, I just never really got into that. It wasn't my favorite. And then she was like, oh, but I have these ladies that I quilt with, and like they all do cross stitch, but I don't cross stitch, but I quilt while I'm there, and they all can quilt too. And she was like, oh, my friend Amy has a Flosstube. Have you heard of Flosstube? And I was like, I have a Flosstube. And she was like, oh, yeah, my friend Amy has a Flosstube. And then I was like, wait a second, Amy, Virginia, Flosstube? And I literally like yelled in the phone while we were FaceTiming. I was like, could your friend possibly be Amy Loves Toads? And she's like, yeah, I think so. You know, it's not like that, like loved toads is Amy's last name, but I assume in real life she does love toads. So Aunt Julia was like, oh yeah, that's totally her. And I was like, oh my God, like she like gave me a Amy gave me a shout out when my channel is really new, and I've watched Amy for, you know, like as long as I've watched Flosstube, and I just really admire her stitching. And I'll be honest, I started to say this earlier, but I didn't want to ruin the surprise ending. But one of the reasons that I was gravitating towards this last month, before Aunt Julia even told me that she's friends with Amy, was I was like, this seems rustic. This seems like something that Amy Loves Toads would stitch, because of like the muted colors and the nature scene, and it just looks so peaceful, and like it's animals. I literally like gravitated towards this because I was like, I want to stitch more stuff like Amy Loves Toads. So I'm like, I feel like I've like shown my hand too much, and I'm like a little bit embarrassed to be like, oh my gosh, you know Amy Loves Toads. Like, I know her too. Not really, but I know of her. But my Aunt Julia was like telling me, she's like, she's such a fast cross stitcher, and you should see. And she was like telling me about Amy's projects, and I was like, yeah, I know, I've seen them on YouTube. But yeah, gosh, what a small world. That was just like so wild to me. So hey Amy, if you're watching, hi. And gosh, with that, I think we're gonna wrap it up. I'm like making eye contact with my dog, who is just totally not interested in this huge mess I have around me now. Gotta put all that away, and then it's time to get stitching because it is March 1st. I got new whip go goals to knock out, and I'm just really glad to be back, you guys. I'll make a new video. I mean, maybe on April 1st. For real though, it's not a joke. Because it's April Fool's Day. Maybe I'll make one at the end of March. I don't know, maybe sooner. I've got all this free time now that I'm not studying for the most important test of my life. So yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see y'all on Instagram. I'll see y'all at the end of the month. Thanks. Bye.